Hi again, this is attorney Robert Flesses. Today I'm going to discuss the blowback experienced by those who've been evicted from their rental unit using the questions that I've received from my viewers. But first, if you like my videos, please consider subscribing to my channel by clicking on the subscribe button at the bottom right corner of this video. The first question is how to find an eviction on the public record. Well, there are at least two easy ways to do that. The first method is to look at a credit report. Credit reports will list negative items contained on the public record and will show the state and county where the eviction occurred and the date of the eviction. The second method is to look at public court records. Most jurisdictions now have online access to public court records that allow a search by first and last name. Both tenants and landlords can use credit reports and court records. A tenant will want to use either of them to correct their credit. A landlord will use either or both methods to learn the rental history of a prospective tenant. Now, a person whose only option is to rent should always look at the court record and their credit report, because sometimes an eviction was filed, but it was dismissed on the record. In that event, a person who has a dismissed eviction should find a way to get that expunged from the public record. And if successful in expungement, then correct the record on all three of the major credit reporting bureaus. That's important because a lot of landlords won't look any further when they spot an eviction for a prospective tenant. They just see eviction and move on to another prospective tenant. That takes us to the next question. How long do evictions stay on the record? Well, in most jurisdictions, an eviction can stay on the public record for up to 7 years. That's a long time. Then the question becomes, how would you ever be able to rent again with an eviction on your record? Well, there are a few obvious ways. One way is to offer the landlord double or triple the security deposit. Another is to offer to pay more rent. And you can show that you've corrected your financial mistakes, if you have, by showing the landlord that you do pay your bills on time and you have been since the eviction. Giving the landlord 5 or 6 months advance rent sounds good, but a smart landlord may see this as a way for a tenant to get into a unit, then not pay any longer after the advance rent is depleted. For landlords, a pile of rent in advance is certainly a red flag. Now, what if you have a Chapter 7 bankruptcy on your record as a tenant? Will that damage you? Well, smart landlords should know that Chapter 7 bankruptcies can only be filed every 8 years from the date of the last filing of a bankruptcy. That means if the bankruptcy was filed, for example, 8 or 5 or even 3 years ago, there's no way a prospective tenant with a Chapter 7 bankruptcy record can deprive the landlord of rent for the remainder of the 8-year prohibition period. I'd love to hear examples of your experience in the comments below. I'm attorney Robert Flesses, and thanks for watching.